now let's get into recording. So if you are a vocalist or maybe you're a guitarist, you'll definitely want to make sure that you go back to the preferences video, the second video, just to make sure your settings are dialed in. We'll go over that really quickly again. Right here, you want to make sure your input device is set to wherever your recording source is. So if your mic is a USB mic, you want to make sure that it is set to your USB mic. Or if you're recording through your interface like me, you want to make sure that your input device is set to your interface. Then you want to make sure your input configurations are set up correctly. If you're using a mic and it's on channel 6 of your 6-channel interface, and the inputs aren't set to 5 and 6, and that 6 isn't there, you're not going to be able to hear yourself. But if you're like me and it's just set to input 1, then you're fine, and it's already set to on right there. But that's something you want to double check. And like we talked about before with the buffer size, you want to make sure that if you're wanting to monitor your vocals back and hearing them back as you're speaking, you want to make sure that that's set at a lower sample size. So right over here we have the record arm button. This allows us to record ourselves either singing or playing guitar or playing drums, something like that. We want to make sure that that is clicked and armed. So you can see my voice right here we're getting some levels. Let's record me speaking really fast. So I'm going to hit the record button. Checking mic volume, test recording right here. So then we play it back. Checking mic volume, test recording. So that is my voice. So we just, by hitting record and making sure that our track is armed and our input is set to the right channel. See, my voice is on channel 1 right here, and I just clicked the ins and out button right here to show this. And I'm making sure that my input is set to channel 1. That will get vocals or guitar, whatever you're recording, into the DAW. So if you're wondering about that count in time, we can come up here to our metronome and set in our count in time to 1 bar, 2 bars, or 4 bars, or none if we don't want any count in time and just want to start recording immediately. And then, like we covered earlier, these are monitoring. Right here you can hear 2 voices right now. There's a little bit of latency, but if we adjust this to 32, there's no latency at all. It's just me. You're hearing 2 signals right now, one from Ableton and one from my microphone. But yeah, when you're recording, some vocalists like to hear themselves while they're recording, and you can adjust this driver error compensation right here. Get it exactly dead on. Let's see, we'll get it right to 0. I'll just type 0, and it's pretty dead on right there. So I mean, when you're working with some vocalists, some singers, some rappers, they like to hear themselves and their affected vocal signal back into the headphones. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's about it. I'm going to take that off right there. And that's about it for recording. We already went over the different warp modes, and just see the preferences video for getting all of your preferences set up for that. But I mean, if you want to get recording right away, that's essentially it. One last note: make sure that your input levels. Let's turn the monitoring off here. Make sure your input levels are well below 0. I got my mic volume a little high just for this tutorial, but you want to make sure that these vocals are down here, because then you're going to be adding processing like compression and EQ, and you're going to be adding gain with other plugins. You want to make sure that you have enough headroom before you start reaching digital 0, because if you clip your input signal while you're recording, it's going to sound distorted and there's no way to fix it. So that's definitely something you want to keep on your mind. So anyways, guys, that's it for recording. I'll see you guys in the next video.